I'm Milton, welcome to the Unfold channel. I've been taking on a mental health based challenge for Movember, so I'm going to take you back a month and let's see how it unfolds. This November, I'm going to be taking on a Movember challenge, and while I'll still be growing the customary wispy mess above my top lip, I've also made some additions of my own. As many of you will know, I am a bit of a drinker.
Ooh, you're hard.
As Movember aims to end the premature death of many men, especially from suicide, I've decided for a month I'm going to steer clear of alcohol completely, something that I've used previously as a bit of a coping mechanism for my own up and down mental health. But that's not all, because I'm going to be doing the full month of November on a health and exercise kick to see if I can improve my own mental health by steering clear of the bad things in life. So while I head off to the bathroom to shave off this part of the wispy nonsense that's going on my face, you need to go and click the link that I've given you and go and donate to Movember. It's a fantastic cause and we really need to end the premature death of men across the country and across the world. So, while I'm shaving, I thought I'd tell you why I'm doing this. I am unhealthy. I eat takeaways too much, I drink a lot, anything full of sugar and fat is my wheelhouse. Over the years, I've put on weight, meaning I'm now the unproud owner of about 12 chins. It's affected my mental health, something that's been fragile for a fair while, and I want this month to change that. That brings me quite nicely onto the rules. So, rule 1 is no alcohol. Rule 2, no unhealthy food and drink. That will be tracked. I'm tracking all my intakes in an app. Rule 3 is at least 3 runs a week. Now, I'm not a fast runner and my stamina is horrendous. That's what 3-4 years of drinking does to you. So you'll have to bear with me, but I will be taking you with me on some of my runs so you can see just how rough it is for me. Rule 4 is at least 2 alternative workouts a week. I don't want to just be doing cardio the whole time, so I needed something else to keep me motivated and keep me active when I'm not out for runs. And rule number 5, the most important rule, is to grow 1 terrible moustache. So now that that's out the way, and to provide a bit of the illusion of story, I'm going to take you all out on my first run right now. Strap in.
Right, first run, let's have it. Good start. Slow and steady to start off, because otherwise I won't be getting very far. Heavy breathing's kicked in already. As I said before, it's what 3 or 4 months of drinking does to you. We fucking move. First run done, just over 3k, really slow. I feel fucking dreadful. I'll talk to you inside. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the bit I'd find difficult was eating healthy. That for me is like the takeaways, things like that, sort of became a bit habitual. But I guess what I forgot is that with the takeaways, with the beer, with the unhealthy lifestyle and the lack of doing any exercise, the run's a nightmare. Pained is the only way I can describe it. I'll show you the time here, probably. It was crap, really slow. I think I'm gonna set some more targets for what I actually want to hit, distance and speed, because otherwise there'll be no progression. But that's first run done. Thanks for being a part of it. Donate.
So now it's Sunday the 8th of November, it's a week in, and I thought I'd give you a bit of a recap over what I've been doing this week. You saw the first run, it was horrendous, I'm not going to lie, it was really tough. I went off way too fast and I just couldn't do what I thought I could do. I got too competitive with myself and it was just never going to work that way. The first alternate workout, I did a bit of an ab workout just from someone on YouTube, and it's so much more difficult when you see a bloke who's absolutely fucking shredded just bash out a really quick 8-minute ab workout, but my form was all over the gaff. Doing very little absolutely killed me off the next day. My abs were absolutely in bits. That's not the way I wanted it to be, but I guess that's sort of the way it's always going to start. The healthy food, I went to Tesco, I did a big old shop of all the sort of fish, chicken breast, that sort of thing. I think it's really easy to do, but it's really, really boring. I'm a guy who likes his food. I've made plenty of dirty meals over the course of my sort of cooking history. I'll insert a few pictures here just so you can see a bit of what I'm talking about.
Really, the only word for it is...
The issue I'm finding is that I'm craving dodgy food. I'm craving fried chicken, chips, that sort of thing. My second run was longer but a lot slower, and I felt like that was the way to do it. I actually paced myself. I actually felt like I was doing what I needed to in terms of my ability. I felt like I'd accomplished something, which is the key to this. And they talk about running and exercise being really good for your mental health. And I sort of started to see that on run 2. I want to talk quickly about the convenience of the healthy eating. I went to Tesco and had to get a meal deal, and it must have been one of the most boring meal deals I've ever had to get. The convenience factor is where and why we eat so much unhealthy food. You look at fast food restaurants, McDonald's, it comes so quickly and it's so easily obtainable. The accessibility of healthy food just isn't there as much. You have to go out and cook your own food if you want it to be truly healthy. I did start mindfully eating though, because I sort of noticed that because I was eating less, I really had to make the most of my food. I think you saw at the beginning of the video just me shoveling chips into my mouth. When you're eating a tuna sandwich as if it's the last meal of your life, it's a lot nicer and it feels a lot better, and you notice different things. My second alternate workout, I realised how weak I am strength-wise. It's pretty disheartening to a certain extent. My arms were gone after a whole load of nothing, really. The third run of the week, the final thing, was phenomenal. Going out in the day, actually going around the city, seeing the sights, and basically going out to run to enjoy it instead of just going out because I had to. That's how I felt for the first 2. When I got back, the endorphins were flowing and I felt fantastic, and I could really feel the positive effect on my mental health, which until now I'd never really made the connection between proper exercise and mental health. I thought running was a bit of a mug's game. In reality, I never enjoyed it because I was never good at it. But once you sort of learn your pace, once you understand how to make it worthwhile for you, it really helped. Not drinking has been easy, but there's been a few stressful evenings where I've sort of had that craving. The joy is that if you don't buy it, you don't drink it. Especially now in lockdown, you're not going to the pub, your friends aren't about, no one's doing anything. Simply not buying beer from the supermarket means you won't be drinking beer. In total, going back to the Movember theme, I feel like my mental health, obviously it's not going to just change in a week. It's not just going to be fixed in a week, but I felt there are more points where I felt comfortable with myself and actually felt a feeling of accomplishment. I've started doing more things that actually take care of my own mental health subconsciously, not just because of this challenge. I think it really could have a positive outcome by the end of the month. So there's my week 1 recap. I'm going to tell you to go and donate again. Please do it. Links in the description. I'm now going to show you a bit of something about how I do my healthy eating, and what better fashion to do it than in a parody of another YouTube megastar. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Binging with Milton. This week we'll be taking a look at the Cajun salmon tacos from any show or movie that's previously included Cajun salmon tacos. First things first, just like in any attempt at Mexican cooking, we need to make some sort of salsa. For our chunky salsa, we first need to cut up some pineapple, taking off the rind, realising you missed a bit, and then taking off the rest. Then we're going to roughly dice our pineapple into manageable chunks and show off our completely unorthodox chopping method. We then follow suit with a red pepper, some neatly opened small tomatoes. I've chosen plum, but feel free to sway from my choices, I'm not your boss. Then swiftly dice half a red onion, and move on to the avocado. Make the rind disappear, then make the stone disappear, and from there we chop. Add the juice of half a lime to your chunky mix, and stir it up with a tiny whisk or fork if unavailable. And there we have our chunky salsa, seasoned with some unkosher salt and freshly ground pepper before we move on to our salmon. We're firstly going to pat our salmon dry before seasoning with unkosher salt, freshly ground pepper and some Cajun spice. Now heat up some oil in a pan and, laying our salmon skin side down, let it fry until the underside has a nice golden brown to it. Before we flip, we're going to make sure to add something to give it some extra flavour. You guessed it, MSG, or monosodium glutamate to the ill-informed. Once the skin is nice and crisp, flip your salmon, making sure to flip your second fillet smoother than I did. Let the salmon cook through, and just as you're ready to take them out of the pan, realise you didn't charge your camera for long enough. 1 second please. Okay, now we have a new one, problem solved. Now your camera's back, toast your tortillas, which you can make fresh, but I didn't because, time and effort. Toast in a dry pan in the background while you flake your salmon, and once everybody's nicely toasted and flaked, our tacos are ready for assembly. Top your tortillas with a healthy portion of chunky salsa, add your salmon on top, squeeze over your remaining half a lime for that extra sharpness, and then finish with the hot sauce of your choice, so that we can finally dig in. And this was delicious. The sharpness of the salsa with the smokiness of the fish really made one truly exotic, if culturally inept, taco, making it the first member of the Clean Plate Club. Take a moment to sit up satisfied, realise how much more respect you now have for Andrew Ray, and move on into your Movember Challenge Week 2 and 3 recap. It's now Sunday the 22nd of November, it's the end of week 3, and I thought let's recap week 2 and week 3 all in one, because otherwise we'll be watching this video for fucking ages, so what's the point? I'm going to go straight into the best bit of this whole experience first. I think that's the best place to start, and that is running. And I didn't really think that would be the case because, well, you saw on that first run I was in tatters. It's actually been going really well. And it's worked really well as a coping mechanism as well if I've ever felt down or anything like that, because I've been able to see some sort of progression and some sort of growth in what I've been able to do. It actually puts me in a really good mood. Combine that with the endorphins and everything else scientific that I don't really have a clue about, it's clearly working, and that actually does make me feel good. I've been really proud of myself, which I rarely say. Being able to do 2 5Ks in week 3, honestly, that was really good, and I felt really good about myself. I felt really good for what I'd done. The other workouts are less good. I find I have less motivation for them. I find that I don't really find them very fulfilling. They don't do a huge amount for me, and so when I'm doing them, I find them frustrating because I don't see progress, I don't see anything tangible. While I'm losing weight and I feel like I look better and things like that, I don't feel like I'm getting that from the other workouts that I'm doing. I feel like I'm getting that from the running and the not eating shit, basically. Talking about not eating shit, when I try and make something really nice and really truly good, like those tacos that you just saw, which were fucking delicious, I'm not gonna lie, it's really enjoyable. But because I'm lacking a bit of motivation at the moment, with lockdown and everything like that, it's slightly more difficult for me to be trying really hard to make these really nice over-the-top meals. So I tend to find myself just eating fish cakes with rice and some broccoli, or chicken with some rice and broccoli. I might push the boat out and maybe have some mashed potatoes. It's boring. Not drinking, I'm struggling with in one way and finding it really easy in another. I'm finding it really easy because it's as simple as, if I don't buy it, I don't drink it. I'm not using it as a coping mechanism. There have been a few times I've really fancied a drink after feeling a bit shit after a long day at work or something like that. But then I've chosen to go out for a run or something different instead of having a drink, which is obviously healthier and obviously a lot better. What I do miss is the social connection. One of the things that makes me enjoy social situations so much is that when I've had a couple of drinks, I get this extra confidence. Is the whole Dutch courage thing. I find I get a lot more nervous when I'm trying to do that without alcohol, especially in social situations across Zoom during this lockdown and when other people are drinking. I don't know, it just makes me feel even more disconnected than I already am living on my own in a lockdown. All in all, over the last 2 weeks, my mental health's been very up and down. The running has helped tenfold. Once I go out, especially in the cold at the moment, it's a real buzz, which is weird because I never thought I'd say that, and I'm really not the sort of person who used to go out running and doing that sort of thing. Lockdown's really not helping. I feel quite disconnected, quite alone a lot of the time. And while I've got coping mechanisms, this has been quite a lot to take on all at once. I'm looking forward to finishing this challenge because I think I've learned a hell of a lot about myself, and I think one of the main things I've learned is that I need to stop trying to do something like this all at once, it can be a bit overwhelming. Slightly depressing 2 and 3 week update, but may as well be honest with it. The whole point of doing this for Movember is to highlight mental health issues, to highlight why men are dying too young. And I really appreciate everyone who's donated already. At this point, we're up to £250. And the moustache is starting to take slight shape, even if it is quite patchy. But we've still got a week. It's the 30th of November, it's the last day of the Movember challenge, we have made it. No drinking, healthy eating, running 3 times a week, 2 other exercises each week, and as you might be able to see, it doesn't come up in this light, or in any other light really, I've got a pretty horrendous moustache, and right now I'm going to show you a bit of a montage of where I started with the tash and where I am now. But I also want to tell you my learnings, because that's the most important thing. I'm going to get them out of the way as quickly as possible, because we're probably about 20 minutes in and you've got other things to do with your day. So, the first thing I learned on this Movember challenge was that this sort of health thing, it's not about fixing your mental health, it's about learning how to maintain it, learning how to cope with it, learning how to cope specifically with the bad days. You learn different things help you and different things hinder you. So for example, the running helped and the other exercise hindered. But most importantly, you learn a few more things about yourself. So I learned about how I need that connection, that social connection to keep my mental health in good check. It wasn't the healthy side that really affected me that much, which I didn't really notice. However, I did see that as I lost weight, I felt a bit better about body image and that sort of thing. My second learning's a bit of an amusing one. You don't need alcohol to have fun, but it really fucking helps. Especially if you're like me and you've got that social need. Being able to have a drink when you're on a social occasion, especially when other people are drinking, really, really helps, and it hindered me in that sense. But I'm glad I've done it, because now I know that. If I had never have done this challenge, if I'd never taken a month off drinking, who knows if I ever would have. And so it's definitely taught me something, so I'm grateful for that. Thirdly, running does give you this sort of high. It's the endorphins, I presume. As I've said before, I'm not a scientist, haven't really got a clue about what it all does to you mentally, but it does help, and I think seeing a sense of progression helps. Get through those first couple of runs, get through the disgusting period where you feel unfit, you feel like you're not going to go anywhere with it. Push past that, and once you do, it starts to feel good. Even when you push yourself right to the limit where you can't carry on anymore. It's what I did with my last run, which I did today. It still helps, and you still get home, you feel better about yourself. You've achieved. Fourthly, I quite like how I look with a moustache, and apparently so do 2/3 of my Instagram followers, or at least the ones who decided to vote. Relative to other moustache, it's obviously pretty shit. In reality, it's patchy, it's wispy, all of that. But I don't know, it's a change, and I quite enjoyed it, but naturally, for the essence of story, December Ollie's going to tell you about that later, it will come off. Finally, and most importantly, keeping your mental health in mind, taking steps to try and improve it, and honestly just taking notice of it and realising that the different things that affect you mentally is vitally important. We've raised £280 in total for Movember. I'm really proud of that. But anything you can still donate, please do. You'll be able to find a way to donate to Movember, even if it's not through my MoSpace. The work they're doing is fantastic, and having experienced issues with my own mental health, especially across this past month, which has been quite tough, I can't recommend them more as a charity. Look out for yourself, look out for the people around you. Let's stop men and people in general from dying too young, especially from mental illness. Now that's all out of the way, December Ollie's going to come in, hopefully with a beer, and he's going to tell you about what I'm going to be up to next month and for the future of the Unfold channel. So stick around if you want to, make sure you subscribed, and I will see you in December. It's December. There is so much to come on the Unfold channel. Most importantly, next month's video. That's the first thing we need to talk about. I'm going to be taking on a childhood dream of mine, and what I think should be a childhood dream of many more. I'm going to be trying every single Christmas menu item from fast food chains, coffee shops, and everything in between. And you don't want to miss it. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like this video, and make sure to stick around for more of the Unfold content. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you soon. And if I don't, Merry Christmas to you.